Alvin After Dark, brought to you by BMW Freeport, located at 291 West Sunrise Highway in Freeport, New York. So if you're in the market for a BMW, check out my boy, Boyd Canty. Please check him out at BMW Freeport. Also, Alvin After Dark is brought to you by Auto Lease Direct, which is on 4219 Merrick Road in Massapequa, New York. So you're in the market for a car. New car, check out my guy Ron Chin over at Auto Lease Direct. So what's going on? What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, Alvin Peters, and my boy,
Loyan Mensa.
No doubt, no doubt. So, listen, if you're new to the show, new to the scene, we're here rocking out. Once again, Alvin After Dark is a podcast, and we're talking about entertainment, fashion, health, relationship, trending topics, culture, and things like that. And everyone kept asking me, when am I bringing the show back? And today's topic, we're going to talk about what is trending on social media lately, which is a lot of women are saying that they want men to have their ish together. So if a woman wants a man to have his stuff together as far as a car, home, apartment, good job, grounded, what should a woman bring to the table? You know, and I brought my boy Loyan Mensa here because he's not only a financial advisor, and one of the leading causes of relationship failure is what?
Money.
Exactly, money.
Yeah.
If your money kind of funny and credit won't get it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So before we kind of, get into meat and potatoes part of the show, once again, if you're an entrepreneur and you would love to market yourself on the platform, I would love to have you on the show. Once again, it's a platform that I give entrepreneurs to come in, market themselves, talk about their product. But the fun thing about it is you get to sit down and be a co-host and talk about whatever topic we're talking about. So one of the things that we won't be talking about on my podcast, we're not going to discuss the racial injustice that's going on, and we're not going to discuss the politics, and we're not going to discuss police brutality. It's a chance for us to take away for 1 hour, I should say get away for 1 hour, and just talk about things that are going on, with you and things like that. So we want to touch you in many ways we possibly can. So once again, I'm on IG Live, I'm on Facebook Live right now. So once again, if you want to call in, share your thoughts, 516-945-9099. I won't be playing no instruments behind me because I can't play instruments at all. But seriously, I'll be reading people's thought process from IG. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Gothrican, what's going on? And I'll be waving at people and things like that. But, we spoke about this in the car. I don't want to hear, your thought process. What are your blanket thought process of what we're talking about tonight?
It's interesting, Alvin. The dynamic of what should women bring to the table, just as a financial professional, what I've been realizing, and I'm going to take the alternate route in this conversation, or the opposing side, I should say,
okay.
But with love. Every financial workshop I've ever done, and the majority of my clients are women.
Okay.
Right? A lot of times, there's something with men believing that they already have it all together, and they don't need the extra help. And I believe as the male population, and obviously I'm a representative within there, we have to step it up, right? Because we have to be able to communicate our financial intelligence, right, to women. Let them know, like, hey, this is what I expect, and this is what I'm willing to provide, right? So now with that communication, when it comes to the financial piece, it makes relationships better.
Okay.
Right? Now, I understand guys sometimes say, hey, man, I have to have this, I have to have this. What is a woman bringing to the table? And I believe both parties need to bring value. But first, the conversation has to be what is considered value from a financial standpoint. Because someone coming in being broke, that doesn't help anybody.
No, not at all. But it's crazy because a man can meet a woman who's broke.
Yep.
And that's okay. But can a woman meet a man who's broke? Is that okay?
Now, it's a great question. Now, obviously, this is years ago, but so if broke financially, right?
Uh-huh.
Because if a woman is attractive, she has value, right?
But that's all she has is value because she's attractive,
right? And if say for instance, let's think about certain women who there's certain demographic of man who, even if he's broke, as long as he brings some value to the table, women will appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yes, but typically, even if people are dating, obviously the guy is typically expected to pay, so obviously the guy would have to have resources. The woman can be broke and still have some amazing dates, amazing dinners, amazing nights.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I guess that's the benefit of being a woman.
Yes, yes. But do you think that women use that to their advantage?
Absolutely. If you, I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't they?
Of course.
Right? It's one of those things where, chivalry, men are expected to cover the tab on dates. Men are expected to do certain things. Now, there are women out there that are willing to go Dutch, if you will. But
Okay.
if you're looking to court a woman, I guess since the beginning of time, a man's responsibility is to be able to step it up financially.
Okay.
So it's important for us to get it together.
Okay. Now, I would say I'm looking at this aspect, right? You have, especially now because we're older. We don't look as old as black don't crack. but no, I keep seeing on social media how if a man don't have his together, I'm not dating him. He better have a high credit score. He better have this. He better have that. And sometimes that person could have fell back on hard times. That person could be that person's potential blessing, and you just never know. And what happens is, and I get it. We're in our 40s, and in your 40s, you have been through things already. So you see the red flags sooner. But we also know there's a lot of women in our age group that are single.
Yeah. I haven't hit 40 just yet, but
I'm sorry. But okay, I'm in my 40s. But there's a lot of, but seriously, they're single, and it's like, okay, since they're single, they have a certain level of things that they want, that they're looking for. They're tired of playing games with these men.
Yep.
So they want someone who's grounded. And I get it. And I'm not saying that a man in our age should not be established. But look at what's going on right now.
yeah.
So we're going through a pandemic. We're going through COVID-19. The infrastructure of the world is changing.
I agree.
I think that, is it okay? Like, once again, I keep seeing it all over my timeline, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, that women say, hey, you know what? I'm sick of dealing with these men like this. I'm sick of dealing with this men like that. And I go back and say, well, maybe it's the men that you're just dealing with.
That's a great point. Now, usually, a lot of times, and it goes both ways. It's not just for women, but obviously, since we're speaking about specifically them for a second, in your 20s and 30s, that a lot of the choices that people make when it comes to partners, relationships, what have you, they're not the best choices.
That's true.
Right? And then eventually you figure out, man, I need to step it up. I need to be able to do more. I need to be able to make sure that I make the right decisions.
That's right.
In your late 30s, early 40s, or what have you. So it just happens that usually, let's say, women late 30s, early 40s, they've dealt with a lot of the BS, right? So at that point, they're really ready to, say, officially settle down or what have you. So they are looking at the report card of men.
That's right.
Right, the financial report card, to be specific.
That's a good analogy.
Right, so it's important for, it'd be awesome, on a first date in your 40s for both people to come with their financial report card. Right? Like, this is my credit
bank
score.
statement?
Yeah, this is my credit score. This is my net worth. Right? Forget how, a lot of times people focus on what people.
My net worth, that's personal. Wow.
This is my net worth. Because.
My money kind of funny. My credit won't get
Listen, right? Because people are like, yeah, I have a great job. What does that even mean nowadays?
Which is true. You have a great job. What does that mean? Because at this present time, having a great job right now,
having an
essential workers is having a great job.
Huh? Or being in finance, because it's actually,
you know what I'm saying?
The most lucrative industry.
Exactly. Well, he's in finance, so. But once again, we look at, from the relationship standpoint, which has been trending all over social media, about people are saying, I have this, I'm grounded, and especially with women, what I'm pointing at, women are saying, I have this, I'm grounded. Why can't I expect a man to have what I have, or a little more? And I get that, and I'm not discounting what it is. I'm not discounting what it is at all. And I'm not saying that men should not have what you have or should not be at a level where you're at. But sometimes that man, something happened. Something happened in his life. You know, things happened and things fell apart. And like I said, I'm using this situation right here because we're in a position right now where we're in a world pandemic, and people's relationships are either going to go here or they're going to go here. You know, and finance is in the heart of it. Finance is really what is tearing up these people's situations right now, because people are spending money frivolously. Like I've never seen, like I told last week, I've never seen so many UPS trucks, United States Postal Service trucks, DHL trucks, FedEx trucks, Amazon trucks on my block. It's like, oh my goodness.
People are spending money.
Which is great. And I think, listen, people need to spend money. It's your money. I'm not saying how you spend it, but a friend of mine said, yo, damn, my wife keeps ordering all this stuff on Amazon. Like, yo, like there's no, and it's crazy because she's buying stuff she doesn't even need. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is causing friction in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you want to call in, 516-945-9099, share your thoughts. But once again, finance is one of the leading causes of relationship failure because people are not on the same page. Now, you being a finance person, what should couples be doing right now?
Having real conversations.
Okay.
Right, see, a lot of times relationships don't work out because of lacking communication. And I don't mean talking, I mean conversation, communication. It's communication running around finance, spirituality, emotional conversations, right? Really getting to a place where you put pride aside, you put ego aside, and have conversations. Hey, I'm struggling in these areas. So if we want to speak about finances, hey, it's tough for me to save because of this, right? I lack discipline in these areas. And being able to go to your partner, because you're supposed to be building together, and say, hey, I lack discipline in this because I'm ordering off of Amazon all day, or I lack discipline in this because I'm spending money online. Because a lot of men, not a lot of men, a good portion have been investing in certain online, like the OnlyFans and things of that nature, because they've been home. Right?
You're right.
So it's people are providing money and resources somewhere. So if the conversation at home is not predicated on how can we work together collectively, even during this pandemic, to be able to build as a couple financially, it's not going to work.
That's right.
Right, and usually people have separate lives when it comes to their finances.
That's
it's like
true.
my money, your money, and then we have a little bit of our
money.
Right, and typically that's, if you're working to grow something together with someone, that's most likely not going to work.
So the transparency needs to be there.
100%.
Okay, let's repeat. So someone just said on IG, God freaking Goddess said, indeed, I had a long-time friend whose parents were together for years. Due to finances, they broke up. It was sad. Someone says, okay, yes, exactly. Transfer people are saying, hey, what's up, Ed Proctor? What's going on? How you doing, brother? People are definitely watching. And hey, what's going on, everybody? And I kind of put it out on social media, right? And I put it out, and I just want to read what people were saying. So I said this afternoon, right? So this afternoon I said one of the leading causes of relationships to fail is finance. Women want men who are already established, careers, good credit, and have a plan. But what are you bringing to the relationship? What if you don't have those same things? And I says true or false, So let's read some of the comments, right? So some of the comments, Liz Everett says, well, I tried that Build-A-Bear model, and let's just say it didn't work. She tried to build a bear bottle and it didn't work. That's my cousin.
That's hilarious.
So Tracy Alexander, she says, I'm 41 years old. At this point in both of our lives, that building up ish is for the birds. And I'm not saying you don't support your partner, but we're grown. We're grown. So yes, I have expectations and he should too. Thomasina says, hey, who are they hanging with? I don't know who they're hanging with. I can't tell you. Erica Jordan says false. Sonia Harris says you mean instead. Oops. You mean instead of RNC? I don't know what RNC is. I'm sorry. Monique Heard says most often while men have finances, they don't have their own apartment. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, Monique. So I said, okay, but that's not the topic. But watching calls on 516-945-9099. She says, okay. Jasmine Cruz says to Monique, so true. And let's go back again. Jasmine Cruz also says, all you need is that loyalty. That's the foundation because everything else comes after that. And I agree with you, Jasmine. You know, people don't have, with the finances goes communication and loyalty, and that's very, very important. Especially when you're getting, in your 30s, you want to start having that foundation of loyalty, trust, communication, and finances because you want to build together. And going back to Loyon, I'm going to read this and have him answer some of the questions. M. Barnes Moreno says, this is all very informative, but please let's not forget, it's my birthday. Woohoo, yes, happy birthday to you. Blessed to many, many more years to come. And I just gave you your birthday shout out, so there you go. Marissa, she goes, spicy, I'm tuned in. I hope you're tuned in. So, now, from you being, once again on the finance side, what are your thoughts again as far as what should couples do at the beginning of that relationship, going back and saying, hey, this is what we need to be doing in our relationship, as far as what should they be doing? I should say, what should they be doing?
One of the first questions that they should have, or one of the first conversations that couples should have, is the conversation surrounding their money story.
Okay.
And their relationship with money.
Okay.
Right. When you ask someone what's their money story, a lot of times initially they have pause, like they don't really know.
Okay.
But your money story really comes down and is predicated on what have you been taught about money. True. Right. Usually it's passed down from your parents and it's passed down from their parents. Some people say money is the root of all evil.
It is.
Some people say the love of money is the root of all evil.
That's right.
Right.
The love of money.
And that's like, so it's like but some people believe that having prosperity, having money resources is a bad thing. So if they were taught that every time money comes in, they're spending it as fast as it comes in because they don't want it in their hands.
That's right.
Right. So identifying that money story, I believe, is so important. And for other people, their money story is make money, get money by any means necessary.
Which is bad.
And that's horrible.
That's right.
Right. But if you don't know your partner's money story up front, that lack of understanding will affect the relationship going forward.
Gotcha.
So those are conversations that initially their money story, what is their relationship to money now? Some people are afraid of looking at their bank account. Some people are afraid of looking at their credit score.
I was going to say that, their credit score.
Because they're like, man, I don't even want to deal with it. My credit is bad.
But if you it's not going to get any better if you don't look at it.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's like health, right? If you
have
have
your health, if you don't look at it, and men, especially men of color, need to look at their health and finances. Okay. So she says Island Chick from IG says on the flip side, people sometimes together because they can't afford to live on their own.
That happens too, right? After people break up, they're still living together because
of
finances.
Finance, exactly.
Right.
She also says you can ask people whatever you want, but doesn't mean they'll give you true information. And I agree with you. Light Rivera, what's going on? I see you. And I agree with you. And once again, and that has to do with transparency.
Yep.
I think, you know what? I think the moment that we are honest with ourselves is the moment we can be honest with other people.
Absolutely.
And, with all this going on, and once again, everything revolves around finance. And I think that we're in a position to really take a step back, refocus, reset, look at ourselves on a financial aspect and say, hey, you know what? People, like, if you don't know this, but if you have T-Mobile has a savings account which gives you a 4% interest return. If you put, I think, $1,500 or $3,000, who would have known that?
Not many people.
Yeah, who would have known that? If you have a T-Mobile phone, now Sprint and T-Mobile is now connected, so if you're a Sprint user and you decide to get an account, a savings account through T-Mobile, just type in Google T-Mobile savings account, you can get a 4% interest on return on your investment. And I think that it is so important that we, understand finance. We don't understand finance. I see it in the car business where people don't even know their credit score. They don't know. Prime example, I asked someone, who I was consulting for, what is the payoff for your car? What is that? What is the payoff? They said, what is the payoff?
Like, no idea.
I said, who you got your loan through? Oh, I don't know. I just paid every month.
Yep.
How don't you know who your loan is with the financial institution of the car that you're leasing or financing? How don't you know what the 10-day payoff is for you? You should know if I am at halfway point of paying off a car loan, how much you have left to pay that car loan.
Absolutely.
That is just, it's ignorant. It's your lack of financial ignorance, I should say. And those things you should learn. You should know how much money is going in and out of your different accounts that you have. People don't even know that your Cash App allows you to view stocks in different health fields, automotive, transportation, pharmaceutical, on your Cash App. And I tell people this all the time, So my boy here says the new inspiration, he just says, because they don't have a fair and honest salesman like you. No, they don't, brother. You're right. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. You know something. In all, and I gotta pat myself on the back. But in all fairness, when I started working in the car business 15 years ago, my mom said to me, she gave me a card, and the card, it's not on my desk no more. But it said, stay focused, stay honest, stay true to God, and be honest. And that was one of the things she said to me. And I took it to heart because I want to be able to take care of people. And my biggest thing was, and I'm going to bring race into it, and I really didn't want to, but I'm going to bring race into it for a second. Only because being in the car business for 15 years, we get treated a certain way that other people don't get treated. And then for me, that is so important, that we get treated great. So the same great customer service that I gave everyone the same level of customer service. I don't treat people any different than anything else. I will call people, I send them an email. My email says, it was a pleasure to assist you with the purchase or lease of your new car. Should you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call. I hope you know your new car for the next 3 years to come, and I'll see you in 3 years. And I think that they need someone to guide them and help them. But I appreciate, yes, I'm definitely an honest car salesman, which is kind of ironic.
If you think about it, like some people, even when it comes to their finances, let's say the dentist doesn't fix their own teeth, right? The heart surgeon doesn't do their own heart surgery.
That's
so when
right.
it comes to your money, having a money coach, someone who can educate you on your money, because no one is taught how to manage their money. Right?
No.
You're taught to go to school, you get a good job, and you're making money, and just because you're making money doesn't mean you're good with money.
That's right.
Even if you make a lot of money, it still doesn't mean,
because you could have an aficionado for shoes, and
100%.
And I'm happy you said that. So we're talking. So if you're just tuning in to Alvin After Dark, which is live tonight, we're discussing Anthony finances and relationship, and how finance is one of the leading cause of breakups in relationships. And women are always saying the trending topic that's been going on social media for lately has been, if a man doesn't have his shit together, I can't mess with him because I've been through so much in my life. Now, the reason why you've been through so much in your life, because obviously you've been picking the wrong people in your life, obviously. And they said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So therefore, if you keep dating the same silhouette or type of man, that means you're going to keep getting the same type of results. Same thing in finance. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results. So change is inevitable. 3 C's in life. You have to make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change.
Talking. Hello.
So listen, it says that's about cars, but we're talking about all these women, and listen, ladies, listen. Like, he said something very valuable. He says, he's on the opposite side of the spectrum, but when it comes to finance, you know what? Let me say this. Ladies, your standards are supposed to be high.
Absolutely.
But your standards should not be so high that your potential blessing can't reach those standards.
The blessing has to jump up and grab it, man.
Well, I'm just saying, no. I'm not saying that's supposed to, but you got so many women out here and I get it. You've been through so much in your life. Your heart has been broken. Listen, you've probably co-signed for someone you shouldn't have co-signed for. You're giving a man money you shouldn't have given a man money to. And I get it. But at the same time, once again, you're asking for this man to say, hey, you know what? I got my shit together. You're supposed to have your shit together. And once again, I'm just turning the tables to say we're going through a situation right now where we're going through we're going through world pandemic, we're going through racial injustice, we're going through climate change out the wazoo. There's so much stuff that we're going through where sometimes certain people can't afford to do certain things. So it's time for you not only to be the backbone for that individual or him, but it's also for him to be the backbone for you. You know what I'm saying? So once again, you can call in 516-945-9099. And we're live with Alvin After Dark. And once again, I'm giving talking about entertainment, fashion, health, relationships, trending topics. Also a platform for all entrepreneurs to market themselves. And we're here at the studio hanging out. I was going to sing you a song, but but and I say that only because I've not only read on several occasions. It wasn't just one, it wasn't two, it wasn't three, but what I mean, like my timeline was like flooded with everything else that's been going on with the world, but also flooded with women saying, why men don't have their stuff together, So what are your thoughts about that?
There's a quote that comes to mind. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Right? And for men or women, but obviously with this, we're referring to how women are approaching it. I don't see anything wrong with a woman who's already at a certain level. So let's say, for instance, her financial report card is an A minus. If she's expecting to attract an A minus or above into her life, or even a B plus, that's okay, right? But a D minus or an F financial report card type of dude to be bothered by an A minus or A plus financial report card female saying step it up, that's an issue.
Okay, now, I agree.
Now, if an A minus woman finds a B plus dude, you gotta give him a shot to at least get to the A.
Get to the A.
He's like,
how about a C plus?
C plus is not as sexy. Now, if he's a C plus financially, but he's stepping up in other areas, right? Because it's a total body of work.
Okay.
I believe some of those women, I don't know them. They're all online. They probably were attracting dudes who financially weren't in the best place, but they also didn't have other things to offer.
Got you.
And that's an issue. Now, if a woman is only focused on what a guy can bring financially without looking at the other areas, the full body of work, then that's also an issue.
And once again, I brought this topic up because it was trending on my social media. Was like you see the gold digger pranks on YouTube. That's been popping up lately on my.
They're hilarious,
and they're hilarious, by the way. But relationships take work, and they take work. They are communication is so key and valuable in relationships. And I look at my folks where they I've been helping. They're getting older, so I've been helping do their bank runs for them, and money has never been an issue because coming here we didn't have anything, so we've grown into having these certain things in our lives. So I think that's also that's also important. Like when you meet someone from different backgrounds, when I mean different backgrounds, where and I always use this, coming from a foreign country, coming here with 6 of us in one room, and then moving to the projects, and then, most of my peers have moved out of the projects and have done great for themselves, the guys and women who I've grown up with, which is a great thing, and it's great to see, So, building something together from humble beginnings is so important as well. I know, for instance, I know a friend of mine who is, his wife, he grew up, let's say, in the hood, you know, and his wife came from Queens, and so you know because her family was a little more established, and and he's like, I'm this hood dude, and she went to college, got a great education, she has a great career, and she kind of turns up her nose whenever she sees people from the hood. And mind you, she's a Black American woman, very attractive, but but I understand what you're saying. I think we gone through a certain stage in our life where we're not going to accept certain things on a financial level, and someone needs to have their shit together. And I say that only because I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So I met this young lady about 4-5 years ago through LinkedIn. Matter of fact, I don't think it was her. Anyway, I met somebody through LinkedIn, through someone else. They want to get a car. She was asking about cars, and maybe that was her segue into meeting me. So she kept on, and I finally said, let's get together. So, not that I find it a problem I'm going to say this very carefully. I don't be like, Nick Cannon, I don't get fired. I'm going to say it very carefully. Not that I have a problem with anyone who lives in either one projects. I grew up in either one projects, but I don't want to be dating no one who lives in projects anymore. I feel that, so when I say that, I say that in this sensitive in the fashion where I think that if you are still at a certain level in your life, you move out. And I say that only because that's not what I wanted. Because I know I want to pick somebody up in a project building with, people urinating in the buildings and things like that. And I was like, damn, I lived this all my life. I don't want to be here. It's depressing. And so when someone said that to me, I said, well, maybe I can understand what you mean. Is it because, I don't want to be involved in it, or this person not on my level? No. Someone says, you know what, hey, Alvin, you grew up, you grew out of that. I don't want to be in that environment anymore. Because of whatever reasons, because of violence, the urination in the hallways and things like that. And I said, you know what, I think we outgrow certain things when we move on to the next level in our life. Not that I feel like I'm better than anyone else. It's like, you know what, I'm just not doing it. I'm just not, that's not what I want to move backwards to. Is that wrong?
I mean, perspective-wise, I don't think is wrong from the standpoint of when finances are better, finances allow you to have more choice.
Exactly.
Right? And that's why I grew up in the projects. My mother decided, and when I was 13 years old when we moved out the projects, I was pissed off. I was like, man, what are we leaving for? I was pissed. But I'm so glad my mother made that decision, and it shifted the trajectory of my life forever. I don't look at people who live in the projects like, oh, I'm better than them.
No, not at all.
With that being said, would I date a woman in the projects currently? Probably not. Now, would the person be my friend? There's that level, but there's projects were supposed to be designed for like transitional homes.
Exactly.
Right?
For veterans.
And then it shifted to everybody else. But if it's like multiple generations there, then we have to have a conversation about, okay, what needs to happen to help you leave.
That's right.
It's not. But if your game plan in your 20s, 30s, or 40s is to like stay there and you're okay with it, then would I date someone like that? Probably not.
Okay. Hey, someone just said, you're not acting like you're better than anyone else. You are better than your old self. Good point.
Absolutely.
And that, you know what? You're right. And I think that, because anyone who knows me, like you know me very well.
Absolutely.
I'm more of a character. I'm not a conceited person, and I give back a lot to my community, and I give back a lot to my country of Belize. I give back to people in Harlem. I've done several things, and I think you're right. It's not that I'm better than anyone else. It's that I feel that I'm better than my old self. So therefore, that upliftment. So like I said, I can understand when a woman says, you know what, I want a man who is grounded. Hey Brent, what's going on? Yeah, I couldn't see. Looking out, Brent. Yeah. So a man who is grounded, a man who is is established and things like that. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about women who want a man, at a certain age in their life. I'm gonna just say, especially if you're in your 40s, but if you are in, let's say let's say 30s, you want a man who's grounded, who's established, who has their shit together. But if a woman wants a man with his shit together, what should a man expect out of a woman? So that's what we're talking about right now. We have Leon Mensa here, who's he's into finance and he sees the whole spectrum of things. But let people know, what do you do?
It's a good question. So it's interesting when people, because a lot of people will say that, hey, he's a financial advisor. I actually don't use that term, although I work within that space.
He's the hitman.
I provide financial love.
Oh, I like that, financial love. He said
Right.
it real sexy. Ladies, he's the financial love.
Financial love, right? It's like financial first response, and my brother Ariel came up with that concept. But ultimately, it's financial coaching, right? Because when it comes to your money, you don't just want somebody to provide you advice and just say, hey, have a great one. You want someone to coach you through the process. And a lot of times, the reason why people are not where they want to be financially is not because they don't want to be, it's because of past traumas, past programming, or their money story, as we mentioned earlier. So a lot of what we're doing is really connecting what's going on with their mindset around money, speaking to the education when it comes to different areas of money, and then giving them sound action items and action steps on how to get to the next level. We speak about dreams and goals. We allow people to dream again.
Yeah.
For many people, the last time they had a vivid dream of what they want to accomplish is probably 7, 8, or 9.
Okay.
Right? When you get into your 20s, it's like, man, life, it just is what it is. Mm-hmm. So we look to transform all that and then help them ultimately with their finances.
Gotcha.
So even when it comes to, when you're speaking about earlier, when it comes to people's finances, when it comes to men, traditionally, were expected to be the protector.
That's right.
Right? And
the breadwinner.
And the breadwinner and the provider and things of that nature. So if that was traditionally what we were expected to be, and there's women who still appreciate and value that traditional dynamic, if she has and is doing certain things financially, and she sees the man as the protector, automatically she's going to expect him to be doing better to protect what she has.
She's looking for that. She's looking for that. And here's what it is. I got it. So I think women, because remember, we take things in differently.
Yep.
So we say things. Comprehension is so important. And once again, women keep saying on their timelines how they want a man to have his shit together. So we take things in differently, and we're receiving it based on your tonality, how you're giving it to us. And you're like, well, at this present time, I want a man with his shit together. And a man can be like, whoa, hold on, like, chill, like, I may be broke, but I'm a good man. It sounds funny, right? I'm broke, but I'm a good man. I got a good heart, baby. I just got no money, but I got a heart of gold. Why are you laughing?
Because even I'm like, man, step away, sis. Like, man.
But it's true though. There's a lot. Listen, you can learn a lot from someone who was very humble, very understanding. May have the Lord in their life. But
What are you doing? What?
No, I'm being serious. Cause listen, you got some brothers out here. They don't have anything because they've been set back. So,
Okay, so the why matters then.
Yeah, exactly.
So the what, okay, this person not financially where they want to be. The why, that's where that conversation comes in. Okay, why are you here?
Exactly.
Right? So if the why is, hey, I just been chilling, I've been kicking it,
then that's a problem.
I'm good. That's the problem.
That's right. That's a problem.
So they may be attracting those type of dudes. But if it's like, hey, I was here and I was working on getting here, but someone got sick, I had to, then it's a different dynamic because that person doesn't want to stay within that financial purgatory. They're looking to elevate.
Gotcha.
So if that woman is not willing to have the conversation to figure out why that individual's there, then they may miss out on a great man.
Of course. Because what happens is you're so focused on that person being so financially secure, having their own place, having a car, having a certain amount of money in their bank account, having good credit, but you don't know why that individual left off where they left off. Once again, you're missing out on that great opportunity because someone said, I don't want to build a man. I don't, listen, I get it. We don't want to build a woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. You want someone to bring something to the table. We want someone to bring something to the table.
Absolutely.
Like women said to me, what are you bringing to the table? I'm bringing the whole goddamn table. I'm bringing the whole table. Listen, I'm in an industry where, being in the car business, it's up and down. Have I made some bad, poor financial decisions? Yes, I have. You and I spoke about that. I spoke about that, with certain friends. But one of my biggest things is I'm very giving. I don't know when to say no. And I had to learn to say no over the past 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I've learned to say, no, I don't have it. I can't afford to give you something that I don't have. Or I can't move money around because I'm trying to help you. I got to help me. You know what I'm saying? So one of the best things during this pandemic, it allowed me to reset, refocus myself, because everyone who follows me on social media knows I have a very fun social lifestyle. Right? I go out. Listen, we go to the same places, and I'm not going like top tier, like oh my god, popping bottles and this and that. No, but I like to go places where I like to go nice places. I like to go to nice places to have a dinner. I go to dessert places, wine places, and not always expensive, but spending much more money than I should be spending. I'm not spending more than I shouldn't be spending. Oh, let me rephrase that. But I'm spending more than I should be spending versus because of the industry that I'm in. But it is also it clashes when you're dating someone and you're not able to afford to do certain things that individual wants to do. Like I never want to be out and have someone and check my pockets if I'm on vacation and be like, but it's the truth, right?
You see how much is in my account.
Make sure I'm able to know, and then having that conversation with someone who you care about, and that person think you don't got it when you should be able to have it. That's as a man, it hurts your ego. It really does. It hurts your ego.
It does. Now, with that said, right?
Yeah.
In a real in a real relationship, you can have real conversations.
That's right.
So when you don't have it, it's okay to communicate that if you feel protected, even as a man, and we don't speak about that part of being a man, right? As a man, you have to be masculine. Men and women have to navigate between the masculine energy and the feminine energy, right? So at times, it's okay to be vulnerable and say, hey, listen, right now, I don't have it. Here's why. I would love to, but this is what we can do instead.
That's right.
And be real with that. But what dudes will do instead is fake the funk until they crash and burn.
That's right. True.
Right? Because of pride and ego, what have you. Because we've been taught that we can't show pain. We
can't show emotions.
Can't show emotions and things of that nature. And those things affect a relationship even financially, because it's tough to be vulnerable and say, you know what, financially, I don't have it.
That's another topic I actually want to talk about, which is, men showing emotions and the mental health and welfare of men. That's going to be another topic. I'm going to have that show soon. I'm going to have a panel of just men come on and speak about being vulnerable, being emotional.
Some guys are going to cry.
I might cry too.
It's important. It's okay to cry.
Listen, crying equates to strength, not weakness. It shows how strong you are. Listen, Jesus wept. He did.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Listen, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Alvin After Dark, and we're live every single Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And my guest host for the night is Lorion Mensah. He's a financial advisor, and I called him today. I want to thank him for coming out because he's been a friend of mine for such a very, very, very long time. We've been actually trying to get together and discuss finances, actually. And one of the key things of relationships falling apart, one of the leading causes of relationship, not number one, but one of the key forms of relationship failure is finance.
Yep.
And you don't understand your financial report card, as he said earlier. You having a financial report card, you understanding finance. It's so important that you understand finance. It's so important that you practice in your household, group economics, and sit down at the table and say, honey, what is our plan? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year plan when it comes to finance. And I had to listen. I had to grow up and really understand what that meant. And at one point I was afraid to share that with someone who I was involved with in the past. And it's not that I didn't have an answer; I just didn't want to share it with her. And I don't know why. Maybe I felt my answers were going to be like, this guy must be a cornball. I don't know, but I had to do some big things where I had to literally cash in one of my 401ks, and at that time it seemed like the worst thing to do. But looking back at it right now, I cleared out one of my 401ks. I paid certain credit cards off, certain bills off, and I have not. They said the Lord works in mysterious ways. And during this whole COVID-19, I have not had to worry about anything. I told you earlier, I have not had to worry about finance. I've been blessed. I have not had to worry about finance. I had some money saved up, able to pay off my credit card bills on time, my insurance, my car note. Give money to, help out more of my folks, who are getting older. So it is so important that we understand finance, because it is detrimental to any relationship that you're in, whether it's your intimate relationship, your friendship, and your work relationships as well. Because I listen, being in the car business, I had other car salesmen and car guys ask me for money, knowing these guys made a substantial amount of money, as much as I did, and knowing they had big commissions, but they weren't spending their money properly. And I think that that's so important. And one of the things that we don't learn in high school does not teach us about finance.
Or even college too?
College, yeah. They tell you, hey, go to high school, graduate. Go to college, get a degree, get a good job, but yet you walk into a world where you don't think about finance. And I think that's so important. But back to what we were talking about with women wanting men who are already established. It's okay. Put it like this. In my opinion, it's okay to meet someone who is on a road to recovery, I should say. Why you laughing?
They're in a 12-step process?
Yeah, it's a 12-step process, man. They're on the road to recovery. They are building themselves up. And it's okay. Sometimes you may meet someone who is not as established as you, but they're on that road. They're on that road to being established. They're on that road to finding out, to have that financial freedom. That's so important, because, like I said, finance plays a huge part in your friendships and your relationships. But like I said, if you're just tuning in, I'm Alvin. This is my boy Leon Mensa. And he'll be back. I'm gonna have him back on again, because I love his energy. Plus, we're both Libras, so
There's that. So question, brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how is a woman supposed to know that this man is on the runway to a more elevated financial situation if men are not communicating or articulating that this is happening?
That's a good question.
Right, that's the part. And I'm speaking to fellas. Start keeping it real, right? Keep it 100%, however you want me to communicate it. But ultimately, share your vision. Share where you're going. Have a vision.
That's right.
Right, because no woman is going to want to follow a brother who has no clarity, no vision about the future. Right, a woman wants to know, hey, if I follow, where you lead. Right, and those are the things that I believe even a lot of the women online, that's what they're really saying. Like, hey, I want to protect her. I want someone I know, even if financially you're not in the best place, give me a plan. Let me know with clarity what you're going to do for us. Mm-hmm. Just so I can run behind you, or I can run by your side. Because at times, we're going to need the woman to be stronger, and at times, they're going to need us to be stronger, because as a collective, we're a team.
That's right.
Right, but if men, because of previous programming, believe that they cannot be vulnerable enough to share where they are, and to be transparent, to share, okay, I'm here, but I'm looking to get to this level for me and for us, then I can understand why women are saying, hey, there's a lot of no good dudes out there. Yeah. Because the good dudes are not sharing, okay, this is where I bring value, even if it's not currently within the sphere of my finances. Yeah. And that helps.
Listen, if you're just tuning in, once again, we have about 11, 12 minutes left of the show. And if you're just tuned in, you're live with Alvin After Dark every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. You can always give us a call, 516-945-9099. And we're talking about finance and relationships, how, how they can hinder it, how women always want a man that's pretty grounded and, with his stuff together and things like that. And once again, listen, believe it or not, men want exactly what women want. We want someone who's grounded with her stuff together, who, who doesn't have 12 personalities. I'm just
He said that.
I had to throw that in there. Oh, they have a 12 personalities.
Men are actually more emotional than women.
Women are, yes.
Men just
don't hide it.
Hide it.
They just hide
right?
it. They just hide it. They call like, damn. I love it. No, we definitely are. We definitely are. No, we definitely, we definitely are. We definitely are. But yeah, we definitely are. But listen, if you're an entrepreneur, and I always say this, if you're an entrepreneur, you would love to market yourself on my show. Come on the show. Inbox me. My IG is Alvin Peters 76. You can catch me on Facebook. Once again, the show is sponsored by Boyd Canty over at BMW Freeport. If you're in the marketplace of BMW, you can catch him at 291 West Sunrise Highway. But you got to tell him Alvin sent you. He's not going to give you the hookup if he ain't tell you I sent you. Also brought to you by Auto Lease Direct, New York, Mr. Ron Chin, Mr. Chin. You can catch him. You're looking also in the market for your brands of cars on the lease side. But we got 10 minutes left, and but listen, it's good to have you here.
Definitely. Brother, it's always fun when we connect and get together, man.
Yes, it is.
It's always a great thing, man.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, he's definitely a. Now you said you're not a financial. What do you call yourself?
I'm a financial coach.
Financial coach.
Like I don't just provide advice,
right.
But people can find me on any platform at Loyan Mensah, LOYANMENSAH, at Loyan Mensah. Any platform.
And where's your family from?
West Africa, Ghana.
He's a true African American.
That's hilarious.
Listen.
He said that one too.
Listen, I'm a brother. I'm from, listen, you know what the craziest thing is when people meet me and they say, what are you? And I go, well, I'm black. And they go, no, you're not. And I go, okay, well, what am I? They go, well, you look Spanish or Hawaiian. I'm like, I'm black. I'm not black American, but I'm from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'm from Central America.
It all counts.
Yeah, it all counts. My boy, they said, Loyan Mensah. I would do my African accent, but I'm gonna laugh too much, and I always tease them with the African accent. I love it.
Listen, we have to go back to our roots so that
That's right.
men step it up, because men are supposed to be the kings and women are supposed to be the queens. So
That's right.
How do you elevate a queen if financially
You can't.
right? And that's all they're saying. Our queens are just saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
lift us up."
And and once again, and you know what? Let me say this. In reference to what the women are saying, I don't think that you have to be like, I'm gonna say like movie star money. I just think that you have to be. I think women are. You have to be grounded, and I think that's what. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think women, that's what they mean. That you got to be grounded. You got to have substance. You have to have something to live for, and you have something, worthwhile for me to be involved in. And I think that once again, it's the delivery of how women are singing on social media, because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired of But once again, that just goes to show the men that you date. And I'm not throwing punches at you, but sometimes we have to take a step back and reanalyze ourselves and say, this is what we want, this is what we need in our life, and know what we're willing to accept and what we're not to accept. And sometimes perception is not always reality. Once again, you may meet someone who you may see is struggling, but they're only struggling for a certain amount of time, And once again, that person can be your once again your blessing, and you don't know it because you say, you know what, she's not driving a nice car, I can be driving a a jalopy, but you never know if I have a nice car or not, because that can be my second car when I'm just running errands. You know, I haven't, ironed clothes ever since COVID happened. So I kind of walk around looking like I just throw a t-shirt and shorts now, or just whatever. But you wouldn't know what kind of car I drive. You wouldn't know, my financial status, or how I take care of myself, because you're focused so much on the outside versus the inside. And I think that's what people also need to do.
I agree.
Is to focus. You meet someone, is to get to know that individual. And meet that person, and just meet them on common grounds and get to know that person. But it's also, like Leon said earlier, it's also being very honest and transparent. Transparency is key, and have communication, especially when it comes to finance. So, ladies, it's not that I disagree with you. I really don't disagree with you, because if you want to date a man that has this shit together, listen, that's your every right. Because I know women, especially by the time they're 30 and up, y'all have been through some stuff with men. It's also judgment calls of who you date, and especially for women, we were talking about this earlier, especially with women who correct English, women who are past 30 are becoming baby mamas, and I think that's one of the things that hit them hard as well. And that individual not being established and not having the things that they want in a man, it's what is it called? It's maybe like a smack in the face to them, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately.
Yeah, so it's tough, especially for a woman who's over 30, who already has gone through college already, or maybe has a couple degrees, or well established in their lives, and they finally meet someone, and that person, becomes pregnant and things like that, and then they become the baby. Because I've heard that too. Like I'm involved with someone, and I have this child by someone, and I'm not gonna keep doing this because it's setting me up for failure. The person's not financially stable. The person's still doing the same things he was doing when he was in his 20s, and it becomes like yo. And so I get it. So listen, we definitely get it. We understand it. We definitely do. Not to say that we're giving you a hard time. I'm just saying that, once again, if a woman wants a man with his stuff together, what should a man expect from a woman? Should we expect the same things? And I was, on social media, people were saying a man should have the same. Oh, I did want to say this. You're laughing again.
It's coming.
It's coming, because a friend of mine told me she actually had to call. I'm not gonna say who it is, but she actually had to call. She's involved. So it doesn't make a difference. But she called me. She said, Alvin. She texted me and said, they gotta have that WAP.
She said that.
She said it. I ain't say it. She said it. She said, so if a man wants a woman wants a man to have his stuff together, she said, well, at least I got that WAP.
And you know what that WAP stands for, right?
No.
Wisdom, awareness, and perspective.
Oh, look at that. Wisdom, awareness, and perspective. You know what? I need that WAP in my life. I need that wiggly WAP. So listen, we got a couple minutes left. Any suggestions or any advice for people?
When you get into a relationship, or you enter into a relationship with anyone, I believe these 5 areas you want to make sure you're working on, and then be in communication with that person to make sure they're working on. Spiritual, emotional, financial, physical, and emotion. I said emotion already?
Yeah.
I'm missing one. Spiritual, emotional, financial, physical, and mental.
Yes, mental.
Because mental and emotional are 2 different things. Mental is the things that stimulate you. Emotional is being able to have an emotional fortitude. Because a lot of people are emotionally faulty.
Yes.
Right? They lack emotional intelligence. So being able to be in a position where those 5 areas are covered, and for everyone on a daily basis, if you're working in those key areas, or just at least have awareness that those key areas are being worked on, everything works out.
That's right.
And you'll attract the person that you want to attract. And for women, you want to attract these no good dudes, and for dudes, you attract women who actually have the real WAP, right? Mm-hmm. Wisdom, awareness, and perspective.
Yes. So listen, once again, you're tuned in to Alvin After Dark, and we're live every single Tuesday on Facebook Live. And once again, we discuss trending topics, fashion, health, relationships, and culture. And if you're an entrepreneur and if you want to market yourself on a platform, please be more than welcome to hit me up on IG, Alvin Peters 76. I want to thank my boy Leon Mensa for coming hanging out with me tonight. It was his first night hanging out, but it will not be his last. And once again, where can they find you?
At Loyan Mensa, LOYANMENSAH, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any platform.
So once again, people, if you get the opportunity, please do a credit report on yourself. Find out what your credit score is. Know your financial status. Know your financial report card. And I keep saying this ever. Remember, the good Lord don't put you through nothing you can't handle. It's all how you handle it. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Have a good night. Be safe. Stay safe. And don't forget to keep wearing your mask. Wear your mask and your condoms. Have a good night. Take care.